CIO. That means I get to work for roughly 250,000 union members across the state of Texas. We represent bus drivers, letter carriers, hotel workers, construction workers. We represent workers all across the state in many different fields. And just FYI, right now in Texas, to talk about the movement and union, in Houston is the first strike that's ever going on for the hotel workers that are looking for a fair wage and better working conditions. So keep them in mind as we're going through this. But here today we're here for Dr. Alter and all the educators that have been attacked and that are under attack at this moment in time. We fight for our union members all across the state, and we're going to continue to do that. But being clear about this, Greg Abbott is abusing the office. We can all agree on that, can't we? Yeah. He's abusing the office. And this isn't about a Democratic issue. This isn't about a Republican issue. This is just authoritarianism that is happening. That's what's happening right here. It's a power issue. It's a power grab. And this is something that the Texas labor movement, that is in strong solidarity with our educators across the state, here in San Marcos and across the state of Texas, we are fighting for the First Amendment rights of everybody. This is not just a fight that's happening here, it's a fight that's happening everywhere across the state, and we need to act like it is happening. We need to be involved in this as it's going on. If you value your freedom, now is the time. It's not when it happens. It's not when the attack happens. It's not when the attack comes. It is here. The attack is here on all of our freedoms, and we need to act like it, and we need to be ready to stand up. We need to be ready to raise our voices. We need to be ready to defend our rights, not only of ourselves, but every Texan. They deserve the opportunity to exercise their constitutional rights of free speech. No? Or they do? Right now we're in a fight. We're in a fight for our lives. It's every day. You turn on the news, you look at social media, and it is like, damn. What else can go wrong? What else can happen? Well, the fight is now. And never before have we seen this level of inequality, the level of suppression that is happening. They are trying to silence us. They are trying to silence the media. They are trying to silence the educators. They are trying to silence the workers. They are trying to silence everybody that doesn't look and think like them, and we are not going to let that happen. Texas is not a red state. It is an unorganized state, and everybody needs to come together. It doesn't matter that they have the power at this moment in time. It doesn't matter that they have the power. Right now, they are outnumbered, because when we look at everybody here, everybody take a look at each other. We all come from a background. We all come from somewhere, and we are all here for the basic rights that everybody deserves. And we need to understand that community has that power. Our community coming together has that power to fight everything that is coming against us. This is our moment to build a bigger labor movement, to build a bigger community movement. This is our moment. This is our time. And this is our state. And we need to take it back. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter where you call home. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. What matters is that we all need to respect each other. We all need to be able to work together, and we all need to be able to find common ground to move forward together. And respecting our voices and respecting our point of view is one of the good places that we can start. Greg Abbott doesn't know what he's done. He doesn't realize the fight that he's gotten himself into. He doesn't understand that he's woken up a bunch of people. You want to try to silence people, people are going to start to be loud. And that's what we need each and every one of you to do. We need you to talk to somebody else. We need you to go educate somebody else. We need you to find somebody else to bring into this movement, because this is us against them. There are more of us than them. We control the power. When workers come together, workers have the power. There are more of us than them. And that's something that we need to understand. So as I'm leaving here, I want to ask you guys, as I say hands off, I want you guys to say free speech. Hands off!
Free speech!
Hands off!
Free speech!
Hands off!
Free speech!
On behalf of the Texas AFL-CIO, in solidarity, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Leonard, for those remarks. So just in just in line with what Leonard is saying, went on to say, who has the power? When I say who has the power, you say we do. Who has the power?
We do.
Who has the power?
We do.
Who has the power?
We do.
All right, thank you. So our next speaker is State Representative of Texas House District 45, Representative Aaron Zwiener.
Hey y'all, I am State Representative Aaron Zwiener. I am the representative for Texas State University here in San Marcos. And y'all, I'm incredibly concerned about what has happened. Free speech is at the cornerstone of our democracy. And the highest form of speech that gets the most protection is political speech. And we are unfortunately seeing the governor and this university and universities across the state act like the First Amendment isn't there. It is alarming, and we are being asked to push back, fight back, speak up. One of the first rules of totalitarianism, don't comply in advance. And we've seen this type of shenanigans here at Texas State. We've seen them at University of North Texas, we've seen them at UT Austin, and we've seen it at Texas A&M. Those are the ones I know off the top of my head. And what they are trying to do, what the governor is trying to do, is make examples of particular individuals to try and scare others into silence. And I have to be honest, y'all, to a certain extent, it's working. I was at Texas State University yesterday supporting some of the Black student organizations during a march. And I can't tell y'all how many professors came up to me and told me thank you for being there yesterday and thank you for my support of Dr. Alter. And then mentioned that they feel like their job will be in jeopardy if they speak up at all. That's the sort of thing you hear in dictatorships, not democracies. And so my message to everyone is be brave. Remember, there is safety in numbers. Still organize, still speak out, and stand up for what's right. Because that's how we win. And at the national level, we are already starting to see some success. The FCC tried to bully a late-night talk show host off the air, and Americans pushed back, and the company that hired him responded. We can follow that same playbook here in Texas. I want to mention one other thing that's alarming about this. Dr. Alter's firing doesn't just violate the First Amendment, it also violates laws that passed the Texas legislature while I've been in office. We passed Senate Bill 18 in 2023, and it says that universities must have a tenure policy that allows for the removal of tenured professors in certain circumstances. Those circumstances require due process. They require Dr. Alter to know what the claims were against him. They require Dr. Alter to have a chance to respond to them. And they require those claims to be heard by a neutral arbiter. They don't allow the president of the university to fire him on Facebook. So we are going to keep pushing back. We are going to push back against Governor Abbott bullying students on social media. We are going to push back against professors being fired, and we are going to stand up for freedom of speech for each and every Texan. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you, Representative Zwiener. Our next person up is San Marcos City Council member in place 6, Amanda Rodriguez.
I'm shorter, so, okay. Okay. Well, before I get started, I want to take the time to just share my appreciation for the Texas State Employees Union. If y'all want to give them a round of applause. I also want to share appreciation for every speaker who took the time to show solidarity here. I mean, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here. as well to all of the community members and to many of my colleagues that I see back here in organizing. Much love for all of y'all, and thank y'all for just staying true to it. Y'all's stamina is much appreciated. So let's get started. You know, I came here to talk about the unjust termination, as we're all here, right? My name is Amanda Rodriguez, as it was mentioned. I'm a city council member here in San Marcos and a Texas State alumna. Over the last 2 years, I found myself standing on these steps in protest far too often, alongside Tom. We are living in a state increasingly determined to strip our rights out from under us like a rug, swiftly, violently, and without shame. Considering everything we have seen, I will say I am not surprised to be here today. But I am filled with outrage and sorrow at the university's decision to terminate Dr. Alter without cause and without due process. Tom is a brilliant educator, and I don't even need to look at this for this. Tom is a brilliant educator. Texas State has no idea how blessed they are to have an educator like Tom that not only critically thinks, but challenges his students to critically think. In an era in which to critically think is seen with such stigma. And we're lucky to have Tom. This community is lucky to have Tom. So the fact that we are here today, yes, I am deeply, deeply frustrated. I won't point my finger at just the state. While they play a huge role, university admin as well plays a huge role. But I'll say what happened to him is not a mistake. It's a message. And it is not an isolated incident. As it was mentioned earlier, it is a pattern. In my limited tenure as an elected official, I know intimately the feeling of state and federal actors wielding all power possible to prohibit dissent. When our city decided to speak against the injustice that's taking place in Palestine, they threatened to defund us. Despite what some may classify as violence, we must be clear. Violence can take many forms. It can come through policy, through silence, through swift and unjust termination, and through precedents set such as the one that brings us here today. This violence has led numerous students, faculty, and staff of the university to reach out to me, to reach out to my colleagues, to share their fear. They're being asked to tell on one another. What kind of society are we living in? If a tenured professor like Dr. Alter can be targeted and discarded without cause, we must understand decide which students, which faculty, and which communities are worth protection and acknowledgement. We abandon any claim to equity and justice. And I can tell you, for all my brothers and sisters who have some color on their skin, y'all know this feeling very well. But this is bigger than Tom. This is about the weaponization of fear, the continuation of our campuses being laboratories for authoritarian control, the slow but steady implementation of fascism under the guise of safety. I refuse to be gaslit and reject unequivocally the suggestion that Tom is a violent individual. If advocacy, because if advocacy for workers, for the marginalized, for the possibility of a viable and liberated future is considered violence, then we must urgently question who defines violence and why. If this institution truly cared about safety, it would not terminate faculty without explanation. It would not stoke fear. It would not punish critical thinking. And it would allow faculty the agency to not live their lives without feeling like state property. To stand with Tom is to stand against a system that is growing more afraid of its own people by the day. And we will not back down. I stand with all those that demand a reversal to this decision and that demand Tom be reinstated as a professor, as he should have never been removed in the first place. And I'll leave with this. I seriously need us to wake up. I need us to realize that the reason I said I'm not disappointed is because history has shown us that this is yet another rendition of people who love power more than people. It doesn't just take party sides. And we must see that. We must put our foot down and stop just taking this. I beg y'all. So thank you, Tom. Thank you for the bravery that you've bestowed upon us. Thank you for your contributions to this community. And may we all see an end to this unjust treatment of our good friend Tom. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Amanda, for those words. Our next speaker will be Judge Becerra.
Well, following Amanda was awesome because she is a magnificent speaker and she's highly intelligent, and you can just hear it in her heart how she loves our community. So let's give it up for Councilmember Amanda. Give credit where credit is due. I only came to be a peaceful witness because whether you are perceived guilty, and people are going to swipe you away, kidnap you basically in a mask without credentials, without a marked vehicle, and steal you from our county, or whether you are like Tom, a professor on our university sitting on our most high. I will always do my job regardless of whose feelings it may hurt. I will always be here front and center to protect that oath that I swore. The Constitution. Anytime, every time. When I was told about this speech, know this. It was with zero hesitation that I not only said I will be there, but I will also be there with gifts, because campaigning is a lot of work. And this is a campaign to bring awareness, to do all the things that are necessary to protect and defend our Constitution, our state, and our country. So, I brought you all a gift to keep your sustenance going. I brought you all Dixie cream donuts on the end over there. Potato flour donuts, babies, no charge. It's very important that you unite, come together, be loving to one another, and when someone says, no, you can't, tell them, show me where. Thank you all for what you've done. You are magnificent, and keep coming together.
Thank you, Judge Becerra. So our next speaker is Samiha Rizvi. She's a civic engagement organizer for CARE Texas, the Austin chapter.
Hello, everyone. My name is Samiha Rizvi, and I serve as a civic engagement organizer for the Council on American Islamic Relations, our Austin chapter. We are here today because Texas State University wrongfully terminated Dr. Thomas Alter after remarks he made at a political conference. This is about the dangerous precedent of firing a professor for protected speech without due process. Universities are meant to be spaces where ideas are debated, challenged, and refined, not where speech is punished. The moment we start firing professors for expressing political views, we put every student and faculty member on notice that their academic freedom is conditional, fragile, and subject to the whims of those in power. We have heard politicians, elected officials, in fact, use far more dangerous language, including calls to fight like hell before January 6th, and we have seen armed groups storm state capitals and attack elected officials. Yet those politicians and those electeds keep their jobs and face few, if no, consequences. And we cannot ignore that Dr. Alter spoke about Palestine, calling out the United States' complicity in the genocide in Gaza. Across this country, we have seen people who speak out for Palestinian liberation and human rights and an end to this genocide and suffering face harassment, investigations, and firings. To suggest that his termination had nothing to do with his willingness to speak up for justice and his conviction to the people of not just Palestine, but of this country would be dishonest. This is not just about one professor. This is not just about one professor. It is about the right of students and faculty everywhere to critique government policy without fear. It is about ensuring that our public universities uphold the First Amendment rather than undermining it. And I do want to close with something my faith has taught me. In Islam, speaking the truth in the face of injustice is one of the greatest acts of courage. Protecting free expression, especially when it challenges those in power, is essential to our shared democracy. And let's not forget, the First Amendment protects not only our free speech, but also our freedom of religion. Because when the government can use the First Amendment to silence and attack one of us, they can use the First Amendment to endanger all of us, regardless of faith, background, etc. So please keep that in mind. And I hope for those of you, to understand that the work that Dr. Alter has done and that our community continues to do, not just for Palestine, but for the people of this country and of this city, is great and valuable, and probably more than what those in power have ever done for us. So to really consider that what is happening is just an attack on people with a consciousness calling for humanity by those in power. So please do keep that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Samia. So our next speaker is Alan Dominguez. He's with Texas State YDSA.
Hello everyone, my name is Alan Dominguez. I am a 3-year member of this university's Young Democratic Socialists of America. We are a registered student organization, and Tom was our faculty advisor. Dr. Alter and I are both socialists, but what does that actually mean? Well, you can find out based on what Tom actually said in that conference that the university legally fired him for. He said that in this moment, when the billionaire class wants to strip normal people's lives of any sense of safety and security, like when they castigate and corral targeted populations like trans people, Black lives, and immigrants, that we, all working people, need to stand together. This is the exact same principle. This is the exact same principle as good wall-to-wall rank-and-file trade unionism. And Texas State is trying to claim that Tom is violent for expressing it. But we know that it's actually the far-right billionaires and bureaucrats who are killing our communities, and that they are the violent ones. They are the reason why there is a scourge of political violence in this country, and not any working person voicing their political beliefs off the clock is a greater threat than them. It's a distraction. The prices are too high, no one can afford medical care, public sector workers continue to be laid off, and ICE is kidnapping students, mothers, and brothers.
Please let go of the mic.
Dr. Alter and I are both card-carrying members of the Texas State Employees Union. And I used to be a student worker at this university, and they thought that they could smear our union brother as violent. But they messed with the wrong union. President Damphouse would rather protect racist, violent misogynists at a Charlie Kirk memorial than protect his professors. He would rather protect racist, misogynistic Charlie Kirk memorials over black students like Devon Canty Jr., who was threatened with expulsion. And gotten rid of for over nothing. Devon mocked Kirk's death, but we know that it's the far right in and out of Texas State, in and out of Texas and the federal government that perpetuates violence. The criminal neglect of people's needs and police repression to boot. Like when UPD detained me twice for protesting this firing, and when the Dean of Students interim suspended me for doing so. I'm back on campus and I'm more fired up than ever. With the power of workers across this state, I know we will reinstate my friend, Dr. Tom Alter, and we will protect the rights of freedom of speech. Just like how when the Palestinian Solidarity and Student Movement brought back Mahmoud Khalil.
So thank you, Alan. So our next speaker is Daryl Correa, Socialist Horizon San Marcos.
Can I raise it up a little bit? Hello, everybody. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Dr. Tom Alter is accused of inciting violence for condemning the profit-driven capitalist system and advocating for bottom-up, workers-first socialism. This accusation is contradictory. The United States government engages in political violence every single day. Genocide is violent. The systemic murdering and incarceration of black and brown Americans is violent. Abducting immigrants, separating them from their families, placing them in shackles, chains, and cages is violent. A call to politically organize and change this corrupt system is not violence. This attack on Dr. Tom Alter is aimed at a much, much bigger target. It is a direct and deliberate attack on our right to free speech. Dr. Alter was fired at the behest of a university president that capitulated to the demands of a self-proclaimed fascist. She calls herself that. She has videos saying why I embrace fascism. And an anti-communist cult leader. The firing of Dr. Tom Alter is meant to sow fear into the hearts of those that express dissent. His termination sets a dangerous precedent and is a massive, massive step towards authoritarianism. Throughout history, authoritarian and profit-driven capitalist governments have suppressed socialist organizing and ideology. We have seen our own government abandon the democratic ideals that liberal capitalism has long boasted of defending. Today, socialists have become some of the only defenders of freedom, liberty, and democracy. However, they want us silenced. That is why Socialist Horizon calls on all democratic organizations who want to join a united campaign to stop this attack on free speech and get Dr. Alter reinstated. Organizing to not only defend him, but to defend ourselves. It is out of self-defense that we call you to take a stand against this new form of McCarthyism, rooting itself in our own institutions, public institutions at that. I want to end by saying, defend free speech, no to fascism, reinstate Dr. Tom Alter now!
All right, thank you, Darryl. So we're going to have just a brief interruption in the program. We're going to have Representative Zwiener to come back up. She has an announcement for us.
Thank y'all. You know, while I've been here, I've been getting messages from my staff, including an update about another individual, Katrina Metters, who's been fired from Texas State University for using her First Amendment right to speak. And in her case, she spoke out on social media about the student who was forced out of the university. You know, Katrina was a staff person there. I think she's actually here. Katrina, you want to raise your hand? Oh, Katrina. So this is alarming. And I want to point out, too, that this is also something that's going to affect the quality of our kids' education. Like, this is wrong for the staffers it affects and the faculty it affects. But we have literally 50% of Texas faculty are looking or have looked for jobs in other states in the last couple years. They are leaving us because they are afraid of being punished for using their voice, like Katrina was and like Dr. Alter was. So this is ongoing. We know the tip of the iceberg. We know the people who are brave enough to come speak out and tell us what's happening. But you know, it's like an iceberg. What's happening under the water that we can't see, we know is bigger than those people who are being brave and telling us about it.
You know, so you see why we're here today, because we cannot remain silent, because we can't keep having people terminated for having being able to use their own voice and their own free speech. So my next speaker is Rebecca Montgomery. She's Professor Emeritus in the Department of History.
Yeah, I'm just going to read a brief statement from the Texas State University chapter of the American Association of University Professors. And I've had to condense it a little bit in the interest of time, but you can easily find the full version on the internet, and I encourage you to do that. And as of this morning, to back up a little, yesterday the American Federation of Teachers sent out this statement with a link to the local AAUP website, and as of this morning there were over 100 views from around the world and 68 downloads. The Texas State University chapter of the American Association of University Professors condemns Dr. Thomas Alter's termination and the manner in which it was carried out. His termination violated his First Amendment right to free speech, free expression as a U.S. citizen, his rights to academic freedom and free inquiry, and his right to due process as a tenured professor, as outlined in Texas State University policy. We demand his immediate reinstatement and call upon the leaders of our state and institution to cease attacks on academic freedom. Dr. Alter shared his political opinions in a public setting completely unconnected to his university duties. He did not, as the administration claims, incite violence. He urged listeners to fight politically and to engage in struggle, class struggle, but he specifically disagreed with insurrectionists. His statement was about the formation of a new political party to improve upon our current system of government. Dr. Alter's comments were recorded and distributed on the internet by a self-described anti-communist fascist. Within days, as punishment for giving a public talk in his area of scholarly expertise and exercising his freedom of speech, Dr. Alter was terminated without due process. We join with a crescendo of voices who have called for our colleagues' reinstatement. And we agree that the firing did not respect processes enacted by the Texas legislature or adopted by the Texas State University System Board of Regents. Beyond this specific case, the AAUP chapter at Texas State University expresses alarm at the broader destruction of academic freedom in our state and in our government. These illegal and imprudent assaults on civil liberties must stop. Today in Texas, long-standing AAUP principles are being trampled on by legislation that undermines academic freedom and shared governance. Faculty senates have been dissolved, and professors have been barred from participating in the discipline of fellow faculty or hearing grievances filed by their peers. The full force of these policies came into effect September 1st, and we can already see the devastating effects on university life. Unless AAUP principles are restored, faculty in Texas will remain vulnerable to vigilante-style attacks and will be deprived of due process by which they might defend themselves. Therefore, as a collective body, the Texas State AAUP chapter is making this appeal to restore academic freedom, shared governance, and civil liberties. First, we call upon Texas lawmakers to ensure and restore a deliberative process of shared government and reverse their attacks on tenure. Second, we call upon trustees to cultivate deliberative institutional processes that respect their academic communities during crises of public pressure. Third, we call upon university administration to seek counsel from faculty before implementing policies and decisions under these fraught circumstances. The AAUP has long insisted that excellence in higher education depends on academic freedom, and that academic freedom, in turn, depends on shared governance and due process. According to AAUP principles, a faculty member's expression of opinion as a citizen cannot constitute grounds for dismissal unless it clearly demonstrates the faculty member's unfitness to serve. And a final decision should take into account the faculty member's entire record as teacher and scholar. If there is significant finding of unfitness, then the charges should be presented at a hearing of faculty colleagues. Dr. Alter did not receive the due process that he was entitled to under AAUP principles because those principles have been outlawed in the state of Texas. The next professor who is targeted will stand unprotected by principles that have governed the profession since 1915. Unless the legislature, trustees, and administrations change course, universities in the state of Texas are doomed. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Montgomery, for those statements, those remarks. So we are going to now have a few words from Dr. Alter himself.
Thank you all. Thank you all. This is beautiful seeing you all out here today. This is San Marcos before me right now. My comments will be brief, as you sure can understand, but I just want to thank you all for your love and solidarity. You are fighting for me. I am fighting for you. We are all fighting for each other. And how we do that is fighting together as a community and organizations that mean something to you. I'm fighting with my union, the Texas State Employees Union, as well as the American Association of University Professors. Join a union. This is how we fight. This is how history changes. This is how history changes. All of you here today, right now, I could not be here without you, and so that's why I'm here. Again, we are fighting together, love and solidarity. Thank you.
So just let me start with a sincere thank you to everyone that is here. All of our AFL-CIO people, CWA people, everyone that's here in solidarity, just the community at large, every student, everyone that had a voice in this program today, we thank you sincerely. So every one of you are an agent of change. And today, you proved that bold action is possible when we stand together. Keep that courage with you. Carry it forward. Organize. And let history show that you are on the right side of justice. Before we head out, let's name what just happened here. Today that we proved when they tried to isolate one of us, we came together. Louder, prouder, and stronger. Tom has never been alone in this, and we showed that today. Kelly Damphouse didn't just spontaneously fire a professor he disagreed with. He lit a signal flare that any public worker can be silenced if the internet mob demands it. That is a dangerous message, but we will answer it. Because here's the truth. Censorship crumbles when people organize. Union power is how we turn outrage into action. So let's move from anger to power. Sign the petition for Tom and share it with everyone you know. Join the union. If you work for Texas State University, don't leave here as a spectator, leave as a member. And keep showing up and speaking up at meetings, at the next rally, at every place where they hope will stay quiet. Texas State University is at the center for a free speech scandal, and we will not let them forget it. Damphouse thinks he can chill free speech. He knows we have no confidence left in him, so he's using fear to keep us quiet. But guess what? We've got a saying in the labor movement. Don't panic, get organized. That's not a slogan. That's a path to victory for Tom and for all of us. And please don't be silent. Don't let anyone silence you, because our democracy will die in silence. So thank you.
I'll see you in a minute. Hanging in there?
Trying to.
Okay. They're treating you well?